Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Today we're going to be talking about some of our Christmas wish lists come early. And to do that, I'm joined by none other than YST. How are you doing, man?
How's it going, Mr. Nubby? That's like a classic line now, Mr. Nubby. I love
Mr.
that.
Nubby. and Yeasty over there.
Yeasty boys
Yeasty
and Nubby.
boy.
Yeah, Mr. Nubbies.
Yes, but what I wanted to do, we just did a collab over on YST's channel as well. Make sure to go check that out, where it was, I guess, more productive than this one, where we actually went in and ranked and gave our thoughts on all of the solo Bommel strategies for level 90 of Doom Tower Hard. So one of the toughest bosses in the game. And yeah, looking at the solo champs that can do it, which is really cool. But today, I want to get your opinions on some of these options here. What I want to talk about are a couple of different things. So number one, Christmas Fusion. This video might be out depending on how stuff releases. After the Christmas Fusion is announced, as we're recording this, it hasn't been. But number one, what is our wish list for a Christmas Fusion? Like, what sort of stuff do we want to see, if anything, or are we open-minded? And then number two as well, do we predict any types of guaranteed champion over the Christmas, few more weeks here? And if so, what sort of champions do we think they might potentially do? Either predicting or what we would like to see. Either one is fine. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's dive in. Let's talk about the Fusion first then, man. So what do you think? Christmas Fusion, it's probably starting next week. We're probably going to hear about it in the next day or a couple of days, or maybe the start of next week. Is there anything that you want to see in this?
I think with the implementation of the new dungeon, with the Sun Devil, I think we need a hard counter for that boss for this Fusion, because maybe something that can place debuffs to the amount of a Riho Bone Spear. This is just hypothetical. Like 4 to 5 debuffs with a sleep in the kit as well. So
Ooh.
I think that would. So Riho Bone Spear places a bunch of debuffs on her A2 or A3, and
I've got the notepad.
I don't even if it's not as strong as a Riho, I think just putting a sleep with lots of debuffs in one skill set, just placing, will be something that will be probably wanted by a lot of players in this game.
Yeah.
Because Riho is a one of a kind champion in my opinion. And being able to place all of those debuffs is actually insane. So,
yeah, I agree. I think she's looking to be one of the absolute top contenders for the new dungeon. Like you said, she also brings healing, block debuffs. But yeah, it's just so many debuffs in one go. Fantastic. You set yourself up to actually be able to fight that boss and do good damage just with just one champion, one single hit. Boom, locked in, done. Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, I agree with that sort of stuff. I'm a bit worried that they might not do that, is my only concern. It's in terms of predicting. I agree, wish list, for sure, 100%. I feel like having all of that stuff in one champion, maybe it might happen.
Even if it wasn't like, do you know, similar to how one of those champions is with Knock the Paralyzer?
Yeah.
And he does the sleeps with the poisons and stuff like that. Even if it was just a spin on that, even if it's not poisons, I think that's reasonable for a fusion, or even if you just do a similar mechanic with the passive of Noct, where if they're under an ally protection, you could place the sleep or something like that. I just feel like it has to have sleep in the kit in some format, maybe, because there's not a vast majority of top tier sleep champions that actually bring more utility in the kit.
Yeah,
there's not a huge amount. So
I mean, straight up, there's so few sleep champions in the game because it's not been a thing. Like Noct was clearly designed with this dungeon in mind, but like there's so few good ones. So it absolutely makes sense to have, if not the Christmas Fusion, we'd love to see it in the Christmas Fusion because hey, the dungeon's here now. At least January Fusion, please. But yeah, I will agree. Sleep, we'd love to see a sleep champion, a good one, for the Christmas Fusion. I'm going to throw in something that I'd like to see. Sylvan Watcher. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see it be from the new faction. Or Watchers, plural.
Do you know what? They probably could. If they did like some Christmas tree champion.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
It would suit the Sylvan Watchers because it's a kind of like wood tree faction, right?
100%. Yes. Christmas tree.
I would love it. would love it.
puts you the night before Christmas. He puts you asleep. Oh my God, Plarium!
Oh,
get us on to design a champion, please.
Please.
Oh my God.
Man.
All right.
Can you imagine that? That's actually, that makes sense, man. I know. If they do it, it'll be sick. Hopefully they kind of like pause the fusion that they've got planned and they just put this one in instead.
Actually, one thing, I don't know if you've seen it, but in game we now have these new portraits, this old dude and this, I don't know, like girl with flowers and stuff. So I wonder if they might be either champions coming alongside. I know they've said in their announcement that it's something to do with like Ukrainian folklore, and these are like folk heroes. Actually, I'm not familiar with at all. Neither one of them looks particularly Christmassy. So I don't know. Maybe one of them is the fusion, and there's a partner champion, kind of like Astralon, Countess.
Or maybe traditionally they like to drop down champions with the fusions as well.
Yeah.
In the patch.
Yeah.
So it could just be champions that's in that patch potentially, but
Absolutely.
or it could just be avatars. Who knows?
Could be. All right, let's go into this. So what about guaranteed champions? Right, we've had we had Staltis pretty recently, and then we had Elba for 20 sacreds. Right. Do you think there's more guaranteed champions going to be coming over the next, like, let's say the rest of December?
I think Noct the Paralyzer is going to be the next one.
Oh, dude, that was what I was thinking as well. I think 100%. he's a very likely one.
He's not overpowered, and he's great in specific places.
Yeah,
and he's gonna suit the theme of that event or that dungeon very, very well. So I think he's the perfect champion that would actually entice players to summon, because he's got poison, sleeps. He's got a passive which is crazy for sleep, because the way that it works when I was doing it in test playing is if you place a sleep on, he wakes up. When the boss actually takes a turn, he goes straight under the sleep again, because when they're under an ally protection, he places a sleep again, and then because the boss has taken a hit, he's now lost his cooldown. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
So it's one of the only champions that can consistently keep the boss under a sleep 24/7.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty cool. And what's really cool about his passive as well is it doesn't have to be his ally protection. So you could pair it with somebody like a Snick Track. You can actually reflect like Leech with his passive, and then you start to get yourself in a crazy ally protection, placing debuffs with passives and filling up that debuff bar. So I think it's a great one for guaranteed.
I think so. The bad news is, my worry is that they might do him for sacreds. That's my worry, right? Because we've just had 20 sacreds for Elva, champion from new faction, and all that sort of stuff, right?
Can I tell you what I think they're going to do?
Yeah.
Remember last year when they did the shard events where it was ancient, sacreds, and voids in the same weekend?
Yeah. That was the Christmas weekend, yeah.
They dabbled in with it with Duoden and Nia. They did the voids and the ancients back-to-back guaranteed.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a triple guaranteed event.
Ooh.
I really do.
I think that's quite likely as well.
I very strongly believe we're going to see a triple guaranteed.
Yeah.
Back-to-back.
But that could definitely happen. I was wondering if they might do Noct like sooner, right? Like next week or something. Basically, right after 20, because it's such a Plarium move, isn't it? Right after 20 sacreds for Elva, and then it's 2x sacreds this weekend. There's a 10x for Harima. Then right after that, come in and be like, yo, you know that new dungeon where you need sleep? Well, guess what? We built this champion just for that dungeon. 15 sacreds or 20 sacreds or something ridiculous.
See, the thing is, guys, I don't want to put the thing in people's heads, but we did kind of in our guessing video that we did last time, which was pretty much right on everything in that video.
Yeah.
The fusion we kind of guessed for the 16th, which is next Friday.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you use all of your sacreds now, you're going to be in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the best thing to do is hold on at least 7 sacreds, which is the traditional amount that we need for the sacred shards to get the 3.5k points in Summon Rush. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you feel it's going to be next week?
The fusion? Yeah. I think so.
I think it's the same as Tatua Ramhide, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's got to be, right? It's got to be next week. If it's the week after, it's too late.
No. It's too late. Like, they've literally just put the Christmas Bastion. It has to come soon to fit the theme, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And they had the whole, like, Ronda kicks off the start of the month.
Yeah.
So you've got Ronda for the first bit. You got the new dungeon comes out. Then the week after that, it's like the fusion kicks off and it carries you through Christmas. Yeah, I think it makes complete sense. What about ancients? So you think there's a guaranteed of each type? First of all, do you think they're all going to be legendaries? Do you see any epic guarantees coming in? Because they did do epics over Christmas last year. Like they had.
I think it'll be a new champion. Honestly.
Okay. Ooh.
I think there will be a new patch alongside the Fusion with new
Okay.
champions. And I think they're going to do a free guaranteed back-to-backs with Knock the Paralyzer and
Okay.
one new Void and one new... and it could potentially be Sylvan Watchers again, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. Oh,
Because
I
the
like
reason
these
why I say this-
predictions.
It's because we've just had Ronda, right? They've got a
Yeah.
bunch of crazy new people in the game. Do you know Raid is actually now an official sponsor of the UFC? Was you aware?
Oh no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
So
cool.
they're now for the next. I think they're literally on the canvas in the UFC in the main event in front of millions of people. So they're going to be bringing in a new audience, and Ronda's advert is actually going to be at the UFC main event next week, next Saturday.
Okay, that's big, yeah.
So for all the
Damn.
millions of people paying for the pay-per-view for the main event, they're all going to see this Ronda chase, and I'm assuming they would have a QR code on the screen.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
I think they're going to have a big influx of players in terms of Christmas, and they're going to want to just make as much money as possible, right? And I
Yep.
think the only way to do that is free guaranteed events, new champions, a crazy fusion, and all of this stuff. And I think that's why we got dungeons and all of this in such quick time.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make a crazy end to 2022.
Definitely. I mean, they always do try to do something big for December anyway, right? Like they did
Yeah.
the same thing last year and the year before with Doom Tower and Hydra for both. But yeah, that's interesting. Let's say, so we can't make too many predictions from this. I think the same stuff would apply though, right? Pretty much the same wish list if we were to wish for the champions would be, if it was a new champion that would have sleep, would have debuffs, basically, preferably from the new faction, but basically that it would be good for the new dungeon, right? That's what
that
we
would be
want.
the perfect thing for the game, I would say.
Yeah,
I'd say if you're going to make a new dungeon, you need to give players a way of getting a champion to take on that new dungeon, especially for the higher floors. Because
Yeah.
if people don't have a Riho, they don't have Sify, they don't have two Husks or whatever,
Yeah.
there needs to be some sort of way to take down this boss without relying on Void legendary champions.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's needed, not even like a want, it's just needed in this game.
Yeah, I agree. If they were to do... Actually, before I ask the question, one thing I was suspicious of, they actually did a guaranteed for Riho. She was the first guaranteed Void.
She was actually in the 10X over the CVC, right? Or last week.
Oh, I think actually.
She was. They've snuck her in before the
was
dungeon
she?
got announced.
There
Yeah.
was Cardial as well then this week, wasn't it?
So that was this week.
Yeah.
Last week they had one, and it was Rio Bonespear and somebody else. One was Voids. I can't remember what it.
Sneaky.
They did sneak her in though, in like a random event, just to kind of
Wow.
say, guys, get this champion. You're gonna get messed up next week.
I'm always wondering, because she was a guaranteed... This is pure tinfoil hat theory now. Like, did they put her as a guaranteed Void earlier in the year because she'd be good for this dungeon? And then, does that mean that Fortis and Fear is going to be crucial for the next one? Pure tinfoil hat. But maybe Fear.
Oh, we love a good tinfoil.
I love a good tinfoil hat. That's pure...
Do you know what?
That's
You need to
another
make
level of
You need
speculation.
to make yourself one of those.
Yeah, I know, I do. Oh, man. Yeah, instead of Christmas hat, Santa hat, it's going to be a tinfoil hat. Okay, let me ask you this then. If it wasn't a brand new champion, if they were to do an existing champion, what guaranteed would you either like to see, or do you think they might
in terms of epics?
In terms of epic, or like just anything from Voids or Ancients, or anything, just...
I think they might do
anything at all.
I'm trying to think of what's one that's reasonable here.
I'd say one I think they might do.
Okay.
Because I like him. I think they could do Samson. Harambe.
You were saying that to me before. I think that's a good shout, honestly.
Yeah, I could see him being an Ancients champion, right? Because I don't think people would be too keen if he was from Sacreds. But I think if you put him up for Ancients, you're like, okay, not bad, right? He's terrible for the new dungeon, but he's a cool champ.
Yeah.
So maybe. Snick Track could be a good one too. That's also badass. I think these really visually cool skinwalkers, and Snick Track actually would be good for the dungeon.
I was going to say Harima, but they just put her up with the 10X or the 2X, so I'm not too sure about that one anymore.
I was going to agree, yeah. Before today, I would have said Harima would be a really good choice for a guaranteed. But seeing as she's on the 10X this weekend, I don't think they would do a guaranteed so quick after. But yeah.
What do you think about Acrizia as a Void? Guaranteed.
I think she's too strong. I don't
think so?
Yeah, I think she's too good.
But it is Christmas. They know that they could charge extra.
They could, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
They could.
She's one of the best champions for the new boss, the dungeon.
She's exceptionally good.
Because she reduces turn meter, max HP. She's nuking with every ability.
Yeah.
And the raw damage is the best way to beat this boss when
Yeah.
you've got all of the poisons up. So.
And she's tanky because of the passive too.
Yep. So I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll disagree. I'll say I would be so surprised if they did guaranteed Acrizia. I think that's a moneymaker for Void Shards, but we'll see. We'll see. Interesting. Okay.
I can't think of any other champions in the game right now that they could do a guaranteed for, honestly. That will actually, that people would want to summon. What do you think, like, in terms of Voids?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, that's the thing, in terms of the Void legendaries, it is a bit weird. I mean, they could do
maybe Raka, maybe?
Maybe Raka. Like, I was thinking they could do a Christmas themed one, but they haven't done a previous fusion as a guaranteed before. I actually thought that Sir Nicholas would have been a good shout, but then people pointed out he's actually, I think, the first fusion, which I'd forgotten about. So that kind of maybe takes him off the menu. Plus, he is still part of the tag arena thing, which hasn't been updated. Or not the tag, sorry, the Guardian ring, which hasn't been updated. But yeah, you're right. Like, none of them are super duper standing out. Like, Bellinor just got buffed, but it's a bit underwhelming, isn't it, for Void Legendary?
Maybe Tuhanerak. Was Tuhanerak guaranteed before?
No, she hasn't. She was one that was suspected to
I think
come
she's
in.
a really good one because she's not super OP. She's great for where she does play, but she's not like she's going to kill the arena sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like she's a great champion that will fill in for a vast majority of players, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think she's a good one. That people would say.
She would be a very good one. Find any epics that come to mind then. If there are any epics, then it's a guarantee.
Skytouch Shaman.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
I think Skytouch Shaman's a very good one.
I think that's a very good one, yeah.
I think throw 25 voids, 20 voids at A. I think everybody would summon for a Skytouch if they don't have her. Because she is...
Yeah.
I would actually go as far as she is the best healer in the game for raw healing.
Yeah, she's
legendary
exceptional.
or not. Seriously, I don't think there's a better healer in the game. Because if you think about the new dungeon, guys, to restore the max HP, you need to heal in those thresholds. And if your Skytouch Shaman is got less HP, you're going to restore your max HP every single turn without relying on cooldowns.
Yeah.
So, and she does revive on death, so in that first turn where the boss whacks you, she's one of the best champions to carry everyone, right?
Yeah. I could see them do Demitha, which it isn't super relevant in a sense.
I don't think they would do Demitha because she was a part of the past fusion.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
I don't know. I would like to see it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I just don't think they would, but
I gotcha. All right. No, I like the Skytouch Shaman. I think that's a really good one because she is so good and relevant for the new dungeon. I don't think she'd be... I think they should do it, like, not crazy expensive either, but, like, you know, if you put her up for, like, 15 Void Shards, like, that's a pretty reasonable thing.
Yeah.
I think they did the same with Ursula before, 15 Void Shards. Like,
I think
that's
Bloodseeker was pretty decent as well. I think she was, like, 20, 25, something like that.
Yeah, she wasn't... I think she might be... Yeah, something like that. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm just looking... I was flicking through, like, the new guys. Like, Skaramis, I just did a video on. He's cool. But yeah, like you said, nothing is super jumping out to me. It's been like, this screams Christmas at me, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. They could do grunge, guaranteed grunge for Christmas. Not exciting. Not exciting, though, is it?
It's not exciting enough, but it would have been
It's not exciting, but it's thematic. So there you go. Look, I think we said it all. I'm curious what the comments will say as well in terms of, do you agree with this stuff? What do you guys think of, like, Noct or Samson or Tuhanerak? What do you think of Skytouch? Do you have something else that you think is either more likely or that you would like to see that's viable as well? Oh, you're thinking Acrizia as well. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think Snick Track is maybe a potential. Anyway, we'll see. There you go, guys. YST, thank you for joining for this prediction / wish list tinfoil hat video.
We love a good prediction.
With the notepad coming in.
I love it. You didn't do any drawing for us today. Can you, like, draw something in your notepad? You could do that. Draw a Christmas tree or something. Can't do it.
I could draw. I better not. Just 8 equals something. Who knows where that's going? Could
if you
go
look
anywhere.
at it sideways, that's a bit wrong now. I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah, it equals. Oh, hang on. I meant to put in a small d, and then
you learned that from school, and you're trying to, like, come back and relive your past.
I accidentally had caps lock on. How about that? That's a good one. That's going back. Or even better, how about that one?
Oh, I should have asked, man.
Boom.
That's weird. I don't know what you do in your spare time. I'm worried now.
All right. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What the